secondhand lingerie. 323-7272. You're next on Trading Post.
Good evening, Daryl. Daryl, we're down here on 73. Good evening, Rob. Good evening, everyone. I see the shenanigans have drifted down 13 kilohertz.
It's Rob's fault.
No, this is the real thing. It's not shenanigans. How you doing, Daryl? Hello, Perry. How you doing? And Clark, I'm going to go and break for dinner. So now that I know there's two other babysitters here, I'm going to not feel like I've broken my my trust with society of keeping an eye on you. So I know I got two other guys here who can handle it. So take care, and thank you for those screenshots. That's a big help. It seems to be suppressing as it's supposed to, but wish it was more. N1 BCG in the group, W18EX. I'll see you guys later.
All right, take care. Okay. All right, Rob, good talking to you. Nice catching up, and I'll check that link that you sent. Appreciate that. 7-3.
Yeah, see you, Rob. Take care. Always sounding good down this way. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So what happened with Rob's KC2UFU? I kind of turned things on at the end of that.
Well, it's kind of tied in with the whole 160-meter antenna project. The whole reason for doing that is to get his K7DYY running on 160. So we did the antenna, got a beautiful match. We tested it at low power with his Yaesu. What is that? All right, he's got some kind of FT2000. There you go. And it worked great, all the way from 10 watts up to the full, like 200 watts CW, just perfect. And then we put the K7DYY on, and it just bonkers. Hated it. As I said in living color, you're too young to remember. And so we put his transmitter on a dummy load. And it would run at, it's supposed to be 50 watts on tune, which I think is a lot, and 200 watts on transmit. It does that just fine on 80 meters, but when you put it on to 160 meters, it goes berserk. So it puts out something like 130 watts on tune and 480-something watts, which it's not capable of, on transmit. So sinting wrong.
Whoa. That's crazy. I thought of when you first started on that, I thought you were going to say the SWR alarm, or so none of those things trip. They have a lot of SWR protection in them, but that's apparently not the issue. Well, that stinks. Hopefully you can send it back and get things straightened out. What frequency do you guys hang out on 160? Because I was able to get my antenna to tune up on 160. Well, with the last tuner I don't know. I haven't tried with this tuner, but I was able to get the antenna to tune on 160. I don't know how efficient it's going to be or how well it's going to work, but the match is low. But I could probably tune a bed frame, but I don't know if it's going to work as well. Dummy load has a good SWR too.
You know, the frequencies are varied. You almost have to have like a frequency guide. So the AM frequencies on 160 are 1880, 1885 in that area, and then you've got 1945 is popular, or 1940, somewhere out in that area. And then you've got the Frog Harbor net, or the Toad Harbor net on 1930, and you've got various and sundry other folks all over the place. But the interesting thing is the 160-meter band, unlike a lot of the other ones, it's a complete mishmash. Like there's no segregation. You've got any mode anywhere from 1.8 to 2. It's a very interesting band.
Well, that's how it should be, in my opinion. That's how it's supposed to be, because you're allowed to operate any mode anywhere pretty much. But here on 80 meters and on 40 meters, it's pretty segregated to a small portion of each band, which kind of sucks. But it appears that the top band is not quite as popular maybe as, well, it isn't quite as popular, but maybe that's the reason why, and people up there, people down there are part of like a top band club, and we do what we want, when we want, where we want it.
I think the problem is it takes a lot of antenna to operate there. I think it would be a very popular band, especially in the wintertime, but it's not a populous band because it takes a lot. What do you have for an antenna that you're using on 160?
Well, I have never used anything. Well, I've never transmitted on 160. I just tuned it up. It's this 125-foot doublet, 600 ohm fed doublet.
God, someone just went flying by outside on a crotch rocket. I don't know if you heard that. Anyway, yeah, you mean end to end? It's 125 feet, so it's like 62 feet on each side?
Yeah, it's like 62 and a half feet on either side.
The problem with that, it will tune, but the problem with that is that the part of the antenna that does the most radiating is folded back on itself on the twin lead, so it's very inefficient. However, Rob has an 80-meter dipole, which is open wire fed, and we literally just converted that to be able to be used on 160. It's not all that hard to do. And maybe something like that would work well for you. How high up is this antenna above the ground?
Well, the apex is about 55 feet to the apex. The one end is about 30 feet off the ground, and the other end is about 15 feet off the ground.
Well, at 160 meters, the ends don't do a whole lot of radiating, and actually on 80 meters, they don't do a whole lot of radiating, because the part of the antenna that does most of the radiating is where the current is high. So if it's a dipole, that's usually at the center. Well, yeah, duh, it's at the center. And that's where you're good. Well, okay, checkmate. Don't spam me with anger emails if you use the dipole at twice the frequency. It's the other way around. Yeah, gotcha. Thank you for the correction. Anyway, if you use an 80-meter dipole on 80 meters, the high current is at the center. But if you, and then how far, so you've got this dipole, or maybe it's more like an inverted V sort of, and then the feeder comes down, and then what does it do? How far down towards the ground does it go?
Boy, how far does the feed line go down towards the ground?
Yeah, so the antenna is what, 50 feet up at the apex, at the center, and then the twin lead comes down, and how far down towards the ground does it go?
Okay, yes, it's about 55 feet to the apex, and I guess the ladder line comes down, straight down about another 20 feet, and then it then I have it drooping over towards the leg that's 15 feet off the ground, and then I have it up, so it's up off of my roof. I have it 2 feet off my roof, and then it comes over the roof, and I built these standoffs that keep it off the gutter, and so then it droops down over the front of the house, then into the shack.
Oh, I see. All right. If you extended that twin lead or the ladder line or whatever so that the antenna went all the way down to the ground and then it continued to go wherever it had to go, you could convert that very easily to a T-top antenna.
Is that what Rob did? Is it? I remember hearing you guys talking about it. I just can't remember exactly what was done. Yeah, I was thinking an inverted L for 160 had been suggested. But then again, I'm very limited to space here, Clark, so, this antenna literally goes, the antenna I have now literally goes from one corner of my property to the other.
The other thing you could do is feed it like a like a long wire or a random wire. So let me get this right. So you've got this 80-meter dipole, the twin lead comes down, and then it sort of goes back up over your roof and then comes down and then goes into your shack. If that's the case, as long as you can find some kind of a decent ground somewhere, you can work that entire antenna opposite the ground connection. So what you would do is you would, I don't know what kind of antenna tuner you've got, but you would feed the two antenna conductors together, and the whole thing, all of it, the lead-in, the antenna, everything, would be your 160-meter antenna, and then you'd have to have a good ground. That actually might work too.
Okay, well, yeah, I have a 8-foot ground rod outside the window. Pure copper ground rod. But that's the only grounding I have. I just have, it's like the station ground. That tuner's grounded too. And so on and so forth. And then I had my other feed lines, the coax to the other feed lines that I was using, because I was using the G5RV for the upper bands, and then I had the 80-meter wire, the half-wave inverted V, and then I had my two other, the Yagi and the 10-meter vertical, 10-meter Yagi and 10-meter vertical, and I had the jackets of the shields of the coax, grounded directly to the ground rod. So I was having some RF issues, serious RF issues, and that seemed to take care of it. So that's what I have going on right now. But I don't use the coax. So this is the only antenna I've been using, and that I probably am going to be using for a while, because I haven't been on 10 meters in forever. And I'm thinking about taking the 10-meter Yagi off the roof and putting up a hex beam. So until then, those other feed lines aren't going to be used.
And then there's sidebanders. Okay, now that I actually have a BFO on, what are you saying? 1, 2, okay, that makes no sense. November 1, 2, still doesn't make any sense. Who's this?
Yeah. He's saying Nevada 1-2 Papa Charlie is what he said. No.
Right. So where are you and who is this during the limited time we can actually communicate? Right, but your call sign makes no sense. That's the problem. My God. You know, 11 meters would welcome you wholeheartedly, like open arms, everything. So I think you'd be right at home there. He's gone. Whatever major lose are. Okay.
And he's still there.
Wow. I haven't been on 3873 in a while. Is this the crowd that gets attracted to this frequency? They're very entertaining. I will give them that. It's sort of like having the peanut gallery there. You need to have your Waldorf and Statler on every frequency. It makes my ears hurt.
All right, what's going on? My neighbor knocked on my door.
Oh, just some CBers that managed to find their way down here, I guess. They picked up a ham radio at a ham fest and said, "Golly, look at this, a whole new band." Oh, come on. I had to put the BFO back on. What'd you say? All right, now I don't have to put that back on. Never mind. I just want to make sure I wasn't missing anything, and I wasn't.
Let me see if you can understand what I'm saying. Why don't you go ahead and take your anchors down west. Go down below 3,800 for us. And see, these guys down there are pretty good. The guys down below 3,800.
Actually, you might want to talk to the guys on 3868. They think a lot like you guys do.
Yeah, 3844. Those guys on 3844 were really nice. You guys on 3844. Try them.
Alright, anyway. Hold on. Alright, now we're back to cooking with gas. Now I'm back to sounding normal again. Anyway, I can't even make out what they're saying here anymore, so I just put it on sideband so they can hear me. So anyway, I thought you were doing your gig tonight, Clark.
That was last night.
No, you said you weren't going to be on. What's today? Today's Wednesday. Last night you said, I'll see you guys on Thursday.
Yeah, because everybody, oh yeah, sure, it's 6:30 now. Last night at this time, everybody signed off to go, do whatever. And I said, all right. Last night, everyone went to go do something more interesting at 7:30. Tonight at 6:30. Why are we even bother getting on the air at all on Wednesday night? Maybe I'll catch you guys on Thursday. That's what I was saying.
Well, you just never know who could show up at 6:30 on a Wednesday.
You never know who could just show up and chaperone.
That's right. KC2UFU.
You see, the party's just starting, Clark. So don't count anyone out.
And hello, Carrie, if that is Carrie out there.
It could be. What do you think?
Audience, what do you think?
Sounds like Carrie to me. I don't think we've met Carrie. I've heard you many times. My name's Perry, Pop Echo Romeo, Romeo Yankee. And the call is W3 MMR. Good evening.
Well, good evening, Perry. That should be easy enough for me to remember, you would think.
Well, you would think, but knowing us AM operators, it probably won't be that easy.
See, the party's just starting here. I just finished cooking dinner. Everybody ate. They're all out of my face. I'm good to go.
You know what? To keep you two separate and easy to identify, Perry, maybe you need to go by your porn name. You can be Mr. Softy now.
Yes. Sounds like a plan. A.K.A. Creamy G. I don't even know that. Hey, Clark, you be proud of me.
You know what? A ton of applause for you.
But now that I said that, I'm like to crack open the old plastic gallon. Crack open the lid and get this party started.
Crack open the banana.
That's right. It's all downhill from here.
Story of my life.
So what goes, Clark? What's been going on? What'd I miss?
Well, we can send you back issues. I know your subscription expired.
Yes, it did. It did. And Luckily, I resubscribed today, so now I'm back and listening. I was waiting to hear if you and Brian were going to come back on the repeater, but you guys never came back, and I kept looking for you, but you never came.
Now, hold on. Don't give it the old misty eye thing. Brian and I were just talking about that not 2 hours ago, about doing another no-net there, so you'll be on the notification list.
Good to know, because there's nothing like a no-net.
And there you have it.
The no-net coming to New Jersey and a place near you.
Anybody else hear that station way out there? You see his carrier. Can't really barely make out what they're saying, but someone else is out there. Way out there.
Yeah.
Out there, Clark. There.
All I know is we're all here because we're not all there.
That was yesterday.
See there, that guy.
That was November 1 burn, will be a charge. Federal Frederick. Come on.
All I made out was November 1. I'm sorry. Nobody else is hearing November 1? Blank, blank, blank.
I'm seeing them. I can't hear them, but I see them.
Let me try this. Instead of going into the wind, I'm going to turn and go with the wind. N1GIC. Good evening.
There we go. Good evening, N1GIC. Now I can hear him.
See, Chet was in child mode. He was seen and not heard.
What child is like that? None of my kids.
And I also just added a little bit of whiz power.
You know, Chet, you should do it the other way around. You should get on frequency with all the guns blazing and then gradually turn down the power and see if anyone notices.
Well, you could do that. Well, in any case, gentlemen, I'm really not here to interrupt the conversation. Gentlemen, excuse me, lady. I'm not here to interrupt the conversation. And by the way, Clark, I vote Lori, is it? I'm going to Lori vote. Anyway, 73s, I'm going to get some supper. Wanted to say hello. Wish everybody a great evening. I can hear everyone. And maybe now will be an extra fire to the wire. You can hear me. N1GIC.
You know, Chet, if you had a TV dinner you could heat up, you could have your turkey, mashed potatoes, string beans, and your apple pie dessert in the top center and still listen to what's going on.
That makes so much sense. That's ham radio. N1GIC.
Take care, Chet. W3MMR.
Hi, Chet. Bye, Chet. KC2UFU.
Shouldn't we only be eating, like, ham sandwiches?
I eat turkey sandwiches.
Well, what's that expression? You are what you eat?
Good point. Good point.
Well, I made a serious score the other day at a yard sale and got one of those old rival meat slicers for $10. So I've been on like a spree of getting all kinds of stuff. I bought a roast beef the other day, cooked that, sliced it up, I just made a pork loin tonight and marinated that in garlic and sliced it up. So I got a turkey breast that I'm going to cook and slice it up. I'm out of control.
There will be no slice of meat thicker than a quarter of an inch in that house.
You're going to have to invite the neighbors over. You're cooking so much.
I don't need neighbors. I have boys.
Man, that's awesome. That's one thing I never thought about getting was a meat slicer, but maybe, I eat so much lunch meat. That would probably be something to invest in, especially if I could get one for $10 at a yard sale.
I'm telling you, and I've been looking for one for a long time. They have a lot of them, you could buy one, but I wanted, this one's just like the one my grandmother used to have, and I always remember her, slicing turkey and all kinds of stuff, because she did not believe in going, to the butcher and getting sliced deli meat or whatever. She always cooked everything and sliced it. And when I saw this thing, I was just like, that is it. And Ken's not supposed to have salt, but, he doesn't really follow his diet ever. So I have to follow it for him. And he's actually much happier because he likes, who doesn't like home cooking?
Hold on, I'll be right back, guys. I got a phone call. My mother is calling. I have to take this or my life would probably end. I'll be right back. Give me another one.
That's right. The utmost respect for Mom. My sounding normal, Clark? Just wondering, because we had a epic failure with the power a couple months ago, and it reset the Behringer, so Ken just kind of threw it back together.
It could probably have a few more highs, a little bit more sparkle to it, but it sounds really good.
Sounds marvelous down here in New Jersey.
I need...
Yeah, I got as close as I could.
I know. You took out my sparkle. I need my pizzazz.
How much sparkle do you like?
I don't know. Bejewel me. Get the bejeweler out.
Is that sparkle good?
Is that sparkly? I don't know. Hello, 1, 2, sparkle.
Like in the Disney flicks, when Tinkerbell flies, there's like this stardust kind of sparkling behind her. You had sort of like the audio version of that.
Sound marvelous down here in Jersey.
Hear that? Marvelous. Simply marvelous. Oh, it's going to take a little bit to get it back. He said he just put sparkle in it. I don't know.
I'm listening to you on the headphones.
Are you listening to me?
Yes.
Do I have sparkle?
Yes.
I'm sparkling. See?
Because guys don't do anything in moderation, I'd say double the sparkle and you'd be there. Ken's yelling in the background, "It sounds fine!" No, just a little more sparkle and then it would sound great.
I'm going, I need more sparkle, please.
It sounds terrible, but
It sounds terrible?
Well, to me it does.
Oh.
Whatever.
All right, so it sounds terrible to Ken in the headphones. What's the verdict? Too much sparkle?
Yeah, now he's right. It is starting to get kind of grungy. I don't really know. Yeah, go back to the way it was and we'll just get used to it. It'll be fine.
Okay. Well. No, leave it alone. Leave it alone. Come here. I'm going to smack your hands. You're lucky I can't reach. Besides, there's always my sparkling personality. You don't want to get too over, knock everybody over on the radio.
You know what? Maybe that's it. Maybe there's too much low boost because the lows do rob from the highs. Didn't you guys have his and hers equalizer settings? You know, like those cars where you have his and hers keys. You put one key in, and then the radio presets change, and the seat moves, and the temperature changes, and then you put the other key in, and the whole car changes. Like that. You guys did that, right?
That is how it was set, but that's all gone now. And we can't find the audio Bible notebook that had all the settings on it.
I think the dog ate it.
He says the dog ate it. I think the ham shack ate it. But, you know, hey, we have his and hers settings on the Lincoln. You know, I have 1 and 2, button 1 and 2. You get in there because obviously our driving is not the same because, you know, he's way taller than I am and likes his seat a certain way. So, you know, I have to be right up on the steering wheel just so I can reach the pedals.
Well, if he lost all your presets, I would rearrange his seat.
That sounds fair.
Anyway, no, it sounds fine. Go with that. Run with it. Marvelous.
I will run with it, and I will just have to bump up my personality a little bit and, you know, just give it that little extra bedazzle.
Razzle-dazzle. Bedazzling. I love that term. Bedazzled. The best example of bedazzled is when I pick up my dog Murphy's ball and I hold it up and his attention gets focused on it and the ears go up and his eyes are like laser beams right on it, and then I start swinging it around in a spiral and then go in the other direction and stuff, and he kind of gets bedazzled by it.
Or just dizzy.
But before the dizzy part is, he gets bedazzled.
I'm back.
So has the band been behaving as we are moving into the cooler season?
It's been in the shop 3 times.
3 times. Well, you know, you get what you pay for. Oh, wait, this is free.
And they've been warranty repairs, too.
Did you get the letter in the mail saying that, you know, your cruise control could possibly catch on fire at any moment?
Just like that. The letter said your seat could catch fire at any moment. Oh, that's what that is.
You should have seen Ken's face the other day. We were cleaning out, we're going through the process of cleaning out the hardware store that I work at, and there are things there that have been there since I don't know if you remember Service Star. They were Service Star for a while. They were True Value. They were, you know, all these different things. But there are things that had, you know, probably half an inch of a coating of dust on them that were just sitting on shelves up there. Well, I brought a bunch of stuff home for Ken, like toggle switches and all kinds of, you know, just what to anyone else would have thrown in the garbage probably and been like, look at this junk, we can't resell it. I'm like, give me all that stuff. He was like a kid in a candy store.
It's not the value of the component, it's the value of the gift.
That's right. What is that? Oh, that's it. Get your phone away from there. Ah. And I see the Boston Buzzy is here.
You know, there's all kinds of stuff here. There's that. There's the Canadian thing, or the Canadian clicker, whatever. I can't even imitate it. Still too new.
Oh, the tick, 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 tick. See, my noise level is so high, I don't hear that down here.
Hey, Perry. Oh, I have no idea. I'll go buy my neighbors a plasma TV, and that'll solve my problem.
Well, I have lots of them here, and trust me, you don't want those. What's up, Daryl?
Quick question. One of those mini Cooper cars with this supercharge in it. Clutch went bad. And what will those cost to get fixed? Just a clutch.
Probably 2-3 grand. I had one of those. They're not. You gotta take that. They're a nightmare to do. I actually bought one off a girl. She was broke down in the parking lot, and the clutch just exploded. So I got the thing for real cheap, thinking that it was, just a clutch. This will be an easy job. And after taking the whole front clip off the car, bumper reinforcement, radiator, ended up dropping the engine out of it. It was a pretty big job. It's not going to be cheap, I can tell you that.
Hey, you're going to pull the whole subframe off the car. It's ridiculous.
Oh, boy. Oh, well. That's what the wifey going to have to get fixed. It's in the shop now. I can't wait to see when they tell her the bill. I like to see her face.
That was like a real sinister laugh, Daryl. That was creepy. Yeah, it's not going to be cheap. Like Carrie said, yeah, you got to drop the subframe, and it's a big job, unfortunately. They cram 10 pounds of crap in a 5-pound bag in those cars. That's why you don't see too many of them on the road, because they weren't that reliable. And they didn't last too long, so... short end of the story, I didn't have that car for that long. I fixed it and offed it fast. But, yeah, unfortunately, man, it's not going to be a cheap one.
Yeah? Okay. All right. Heard somebody in there. All right. Good evening, everybody. KC2UFU. I'll be listening and...
Hey, Daryl, tell her to get that clutch down. Bet you she'll be a lot gentler next time.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? She loved to drive fast, real fast. And, I don't know. I told her, don't buy one of these little Coopers. And she in love with that little thing. Oh, boy. I don't know.
I say.
Hey, Tim.
Hey.
Hello, Timothy.
Oh. I hear a voice that I haven't heard in a while.
How long has it been?
A long time. How you doing there, Carrie? Or Daryl in there? Sounds like Perry and somebody else. Was that Billy?
I thought I heard that, too.
I'm just passing through. I just thought I would stick my beak in the door for a moment or two before I call it quits.
Well, it's always good to hear you, Tim. Yeah, we're got my engineer to put everything back together after the long, super crappy, very rainy, very windy summer that pretty much wrecked everything. So now that it's cooling off, he got back up in the trees there and got everything situated.
What was that about the summer? Did you say a storm took out the ants?
No, yeah, the antenna. It was just, we had a lot of really bad storms come through here. A lot of high winds. Ugh, it was very, very wet summer. Then the battery went dead in my EQ. So all the power outages, we lost every audio setting that we had. Couldn't find the book to reset it. So here we are.
Well, it sounds like it's back to normal. Well, good to hear you. Well, that's one of the reasons why I'm old school, because there are no batteries to go dead.
You are correct there, sir. It is the price we pay.
Yes, indeed. Anyway, you got a bit of a long day. I'm kind of dragged out, and I'm going to call it an early night.
Well, it is always good to hear you, sir. My son's actually leaving tomorrow. He's headed up to Bingham. He's got to, his dad lives up there now, and he's delivering a monster mud truck up there.
Bingham, Maine? Yeah, it's a little ways from here, but I know where it is. I've been to Bingham before.
Yeah, I know you have. So, yeah, he'll be going through there probably, I don't know, I think he's leaving tonight or tomorrow morning, but I think so. I don't know, or maybe tomorrow evening. But anyway, I said happy trails dragging that thing up there.
Yeah, really. Well, what can I say? Anyway, I'm just going to sit by on the side and come up to speed here. This WA1H and yell R.
Air check tape headed your way.
What's heading my way?
Oh, Carrie, I got Mr. and Mrs. Coyote, both recorded.
Oh, okay. Yeah, at least you had that, right? You had Dave's original setting?
I had to change a lot of it.
Yeah.
Yes, it got me in the ball for it. Anyway, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. Your original settings we still had them written down. We're still tweaking it, but without that, forget it. We would have just packed it up.
Yeah, it's a tough beast to tame. But, as you know, it kind of pays off.
So you're sending a clip our way, you said?
Already did. It should be emailed.
To UDZ?
Well, there's a voice I haven't heard in a long time either.
Hi, Timmy. A family email.
Hi, Davey.
Yeah, I got something here I gotta fix, or else it's gonna blow up. So I'll be listening. W2 very weak. Good to hear you. Good to hear Riley.
There are exceptions.
Hi, Clark.
Hi, Dave.
Can you hear me okay?
Sorry?
Not weak down here.
Yeah, man. Okay. Thanks for the report. I'll be listening.
What a clear frequency.
I wonder why. W2VW.
Because nobody's speaking. Everybody's listening.
We're doing the library net. Quiet, please.
Maybe we'll have to invoke the whisper net.
Was that done?
Yes, there used to be the whisper net years ago.
I could see that freaking out the SWLs.
Yeah. Now there's a mode called WSPR. That stands for the whisper net. And also there's radio station WSPR, Sick Puppy Radio.
I thought it was in Springfield.
It might as well be.
There you go, Terry. You'd be good on the Whisper Net. Wow. Easy come, easy go.
Yeah, I guess she went away.
She went to go get some more sparkles.
Some more Behringer red stuff.
Yeah, it's bizarre. There's cheap-ass Behringer audio equipment, and I guess they're in the wine business, too. But how is their wine?
It's okay. It's not high-end, but they've got a pretty good selection.
I forget where I've seen it.
Well, it's the official wine at Sandals Resorts. Maybe there.
Not there.
Well, you might have seen it the last time you were over here, because I've got bottles of it.
In your mind, I was there. I haven't been there yet.
Oh. Gosh, when we were driving back from Bob's house, I thought we were driving so long we could have looped in right by here.
Nope. I don't recall being by your place.